good morning everybody. I hope you are going well and welcome again today to this channel. And today our guest is Felix from Germany. Felix will give us some testimony, some tips and some advice for newcomers, for new candidates to the scholarship. Good morning, Felix.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm great.
Great.
Super great.
Cool. So we start from the beginning as always, quick introduction and yeah, we're listening to you.
Alright. Well, my name is Felix, as we said. I'm 29 years old. I am a third-year PhD student in the Robotics Lab at NAIST, and I come from Germany. I studied at the KIT in Karlsruhe and in Lyon in France.
So about Japan. So when and how did you come to Japan?
I came about 4.5 years ago, and that was for the thesis of my master's degree.
Okay.
I got a 6-month scholarship to come to this lab, the Robotics Lab at NAIST, through an exchange agreement between Karlsruhe and NAIST. And when I was there, it was actually my supervising professor at the time who said after half of it, if I don't want to apply for the scholarship, he said it's good. I thought, oh, that's a great compliment. Okay, totally. And I applied for it. It was kind of a long process, but I got it. And now I'm here.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. So, I mean, you heard from the scholarship from your professor, or you heard it back in Germany?
No, I never heard about it in Germany. I didn't know about it. I didn't research either. I guess it's easy to find, but it didn't cross my mind.
Okay.
It was my professor who proposed it. And then
when you came for the 6-month internship in Japan?
Yep.
Yeah, he's a very nice guy. I mean, you heard about the scholarship and you decide to go and you prepare your files, all the documents to submit for the scholarship. How do you find this process?
It's long. I think it's one of the longest and most involved processes for application I have been in, at least. It started more than a year in advance for me, because in Germany and in France, the selection for the Mext is for the embassy recommendation track is actually done by the DAD and the CNRS, and not the embassy itself. So they ask for even more time in advance to do all the sorting and the selection.
Wow.
So I think to start in April, I applied in February. With everything of mine, you know, the whole plan, the multi-page, a letter of motivation, and then 2 letters of recommendation from professors, and that was kind of last minute, but somehow, because I had, you know, the lab at home in Karlsruhe and the lab in the
NAIST.
It's nice. It was good. It was fine. But still, that's so long.
So long.
14 months in advance, and then there's the selection in Germany.
Wow. So you start preparing a file here, 14 months before, and you have to go back to Germany because you came from Germany, from the embassy, so you had to come back, to go back to Germany.
Yeah, I applied through the embassy in Germany. So I was supposed to be in Germany, I think. That's the idea. Normally you
need to apply from the country. If you is the embassy ones, you need to apply from the country.
Embassy recommendation track you do get in from your country. So they also did the selection in country, and they said this is absolutely necessary. So I figured it's good money, alright, let's do it, whatever. So I was hesitant to do the whole thing again because it's annoying to do all of these applications and just not get anything back. But so to figure out what increases your chances and what is likely to get you through, I think one of the biggest things is having a project in Japan. Reaching out to potential professors. Coming in with a plan of what you're doing. Sometimes it's hard to imagine ahead or to have something concrete, but I think that is the one biggest thing.
The research
that really
project
pushes your application out.
So you want to come to Japan, study in Japan, so have a project which is related to Japanese, Japanese science, culture, whatever, and try to reach out to professor and to give some, example of projects that can be interesting for people now. What kind of idea in the robotic? I don't know.
Well, I can't tell you what to research, but you know, more than the project and the topic itself is probably that you contacted someone in Japan already, so that there's a connection. The connection makes, if there is one, if you can maybe even get a recommendation letter from that other lab, that was very strong. That is a big plus.
Okay. So how about the selection process again? Can you give more details, like what are the different steps?
Like I said, the whole process is managed by the DAD in Germany, right? So the German Exchange Service. And instead of just the embassy, like it would be in other countries sometimes. So I remember I had to first hand in all my documents, and then they invite you to the interview. The pre-selection is over, and they invite you to the interview. You have to go. And I remember there was only one guy from the embassy, and 4 people from the jury were actually from unis, from different fields. I remember one guy was from he studied at my old university. He was a professor now. He was a technical guy. He talked a lot to me, and the others were different fields. So there was one to interview on a proper
technical things.
From the technical side, from the content side of things. And the embassy person to go like, oh, how have you been to Japan? Can you use chopsticks, etc. So there was that. And afterwards, when you're selected, then you take the English and Japanese test in the embassy. If I remember that right. Actually, because I was in Japan, I had to push it back and to get that and the visa in a week and then come straight back
to Japan again. So when you came in Japan, so what was the Japanese level, and do you think the Japanese level is kind of, a plus for you to get this scholarship? Was it important to be good in Japanese before?
I think looking back, when I applied, I had about a level of just below N3. If that's an idea. I've had once a week lessons, the normal kind that you take in uni, once a week, 2 hours, 1.5 hours. Not much serious studying at all. It was the basis, but nothing serious.
But you have a writing test?
Yeah, you have the test in the embassy for both English and Japanese. But they say, and I think it's true, that your level of Japanese is not an issue. It's not a criterion for the selections, just to know which class you would go to.
When you get
But English is a total must.
Yeah, that's true.
There's no way, especially as a German, everyone I met is just super perfectly fluent in English. There's no exceptions. I met no one who has any difficulty.
English is a must for everybody, for every country. You guys send your file from whatever area in the earth to Japan. There's the only language criteria that can examine your files is English. So this is a must. You have to do it. We speak French, but we have to do everything in English, right? Yeah. You speak German, but everything should be in English. So English is a must.
Yeah, you'll have trouble getting in if you don't polish that up. All the way.
Yeah, a quick overview about your research. You have been here for 4.5 years. You started the internship, and now 4 years. You are PhD 2 now. So can you give us a quick overview to what you are doing and what kind of benefit you get from this study?
What kind of benefits I get from the study?
Yeah, but before that, what is your research is about what?
All right. Well, my research topic is about deformable object manipulation. So I look at how to grasp, how to make a gripper for robots that can deal with textiles, that can dexterously manipulate, etc., etc. On one side, and then on the other side, I look into how to express a movement, how to express a manipulation for clothes, textiles properly.
Always using a robot hand.
Yeah.
Okay. We probably had a small video of what you are doing. I guess you have some video of your demo.
Oh yeah, I just published the gripper.
Yeah, so
very simple.
You studied robot hand and gesture manipulation with your robot. This is what you are doing, but for yourself, what do you get from it? Like a good researcher. What is your benefit from this research, for this study in Japan?
From being here?
Yeah.
Well, personally, one of the biggest benefits is learning Japanese. I knew when I applied, this is the last real chance I get to go out with a big project. If I get into a company, it will be, sometimes you'll be sent out, but you'll always usually be based somewhere in a country. And I wanted to learn one of the Asian languages. It was one of my personal projects for my life.
Okay.
So
interesting.
That's for me, it's one of the big pluses. Okay. I just like that. And apart from that, staying here is one of the big things that the lab supported us in was that competition. We were just this group of Mext students, all of us Mext students, incidentally, in the lab. And we saw this contest at the Airbus Shopfloor channel, so you can Google that. And we thought, that's cool, we kind of want to try that. And because everything is so well equipped and our professors are good with us, they don't have to deal with the the details of everything,
yeah,
and distribute the robot time that heavily to the students. We could just do it with that robot, with the new robot we got. It's expensive in Japan. It's a nice piece, and we just used it to develop our little solution for that contest. And then we were selected to go to compete in Sweden. At Airbus. And we asked our professors if it's okay if we just take the robot.
He said yes.
Yeah, okay. Well, essentially, you gotta think this is an 80,000 euro roughly robot,
Wow.
and everything is kind of twice as expensive in Japan. So we took like a Ferrari with us, just the students. None of the professors were there.
Oh my
it was
God.
just us and one of the most expensive robots of the lab.
Wow.
And well, we won, so that was great.
Yeah.
And that was another privilege.
Very good.
One of the possibilities in this lab, but
yeah, that's a very nice story, you know. Oh, interesting. So, what was the most difficult for you as a newcomer in Japan in 2013 when you came here? Until now, what is the most challenging things in the life, not in the study?
What was the most difficult thing when I came to Japan? I think one of the more difficult things to deal with in retrospect was how to deal with conflict in Japanese culture. That sounds a bit too harsh, but what I want to say is people don't speak anything clearly. You hear that, you know it's there, and you think, oh yeah, I can figure it out. But the finesse and the tiny degrees of how what means what is so hard to figure out sometimes. And I'm sure I stumbled a lot.
So you mean the conflict, understanding each other, or when a problem occurs? What do you mean?
Well, usually, actually before that, when you have something to say about someone else's work, for example, no one will do it unless very specific conditions apply that make it possible for them to say something, or where they're in a position to.
I see.
And even then,
like
it's hard to get feedback on your work. That's one real bad, but it's a complicated thing. Yeah, it's complicated to get real honest opinions from both students and professors about what you're doing and where to go.
I see.
In my opinion, that's
one of the
real difficulties.
Okay.
And one thing that people they suffer from it sometimes.
Yeah. So this is kind of cultural things, you know. Japanese people don't express not honestly, but straight, you know. They don't say straight, this is bad, this is good. They kind of, you know, this is not so bad. So they don't express it honestly quickly. That's all. If you have to understand the culture of the mind to see what they mean, right?
Yeah, it's hard to fine tune the radar, you know, and what is supposed to mean what, and what would they say if this and that. It takes time.
You have to figure it out yourself.
Yeah. One thing, when you say difficulties, there's one thing that can trip you up, I think. I know multiple people that went to unis like Osaka University and Tokyo University who got the scholarship, like who got the okay for Mext to come.
Okay.
And they went to the language class and they did everything. And they tried to get in, but they couldn't. And then, you know, after, depending if you're PhD or master's, you have 1 or 2 years to actually get into your degree, or everything expires. And you lose it.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to them. And so
many people lose it.
I don't know if it's many. Honestly, I think in total numbers it's not that many.
Okay.
But then again, there's not many Mexicans.
But what makes it difficult then? The language insertion, or the insertion in the culture, in society?
I think in the cases that I know of, it's just that the entrance exams can be extremely hard. For Tokyo University, it can just be
nightmare.
Intense.
Intense.
I mean, it's their top uni. They study so hard to get in, and it's not that surprising. Admittedly, when you're PhD level already, you just have to talk to them and convince the committee, which is much easier and much more reliable, especially when you have a professor pulling
you.
Yeah, and saying, yeah, I want this to happen. Can you just get them in, please?
Yeah, that's true.
That's a thing to consider. If you're going for a bachelor's or a master's degree where there's an entrance exam, this can trip you up.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I think we stop here for today. Thank you for sharing with us. Thank you for your things, information. I hope you guys will take it into account and prepare yourself to come in Japan. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe always and put a comment and question to Felix. Bye bye.
Ciao.
Thank you.